UFC 285 is scheduled to take place on March 5th at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. The event will undoubtedly be one of the most anticipated events of the year, as one of the biggest stars in the UFC and one of the best combat athletes of all time, Jon Jones, returns and makes his heavyweight debut. Jon Jones will fight Ciryl Gane for the undisputed UFC Heavyweight Championship of the world. Fight fans worldwide look forward to this fight, and we got you covered with an official prediction. Stay tuned, enjoy the video, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will now try to answer the question: can Ciryl Gane outstrike Jon Jones, or whether Jones's wrestling will be too much for Gane? Before we delve any deeper into the narratives and odds and whatnot, let's first take a closer look at how these two fighters stack up on paper. Judging solely by the numbers, the upcoming clash between Gane and Jones could easily be labeled as an intense showdown. Gane might not have Jones's experience and expertise amongst other things, but he sure can match him in the physical department. And frankly, we all know just how bad Jones looked whenever he fought against someone his size. His wins over Thiago Santos and Dominic Reyes were pretty horrible showings. They were wins only in the most formal sense of the word. There are few fighters in the UFC with a striking resume like Ciryl Gane. Ciryl comes from a Muay Thai background and is a Muay Thai champion. Additionally, he has adapted his striking skills to the MMA world and outstruck all his opponents. Many have said he moves like a middleweight due to his athleticism and quickness. Jon Jones will be Cyril's biggest test, but he will hardly pose any significant problems for Gane on the feet. His footwork and striking accuracy are exceptional, and he has a keen sense of timing that allows him to land strikes with pinpoint accuracy. Gane's striking game could be just too fluid and precise for Jones to handle, and his quickness and athleticism may give him an edge over the larger and slower Jones. However, it will be important to note that Jones is a smart and adaptable fighter, and he could potentially find a way to exploit Gane's weaknesses. Therefore, Gane should not underestimate Jones, and he should be well prepared for any surprises that Jones might have in store for him. Gane is naturally a southpaw, and he also has a long reach at 81 inches. Throughout his UFC career, Gane has done an excellent job establishing his jab and keeping fights at range. Against Jones, however, that might not be wise. Jones is the king of using angles to his advantage and making mid-fight adjustments. On Cyril's end, I have some concerns. At UFC 270, Gane was up on Francis through the first two rounds until Francis changed course, deciding to wrestle and hold top position. Gane lost that fight by unanimous decision. More recently, he let his guard slip and got blasted off his feet by Tuivasa. By looking back at Jones's previous fight in the light heavyweight division against Reyes, it's evident that he was outstruck during the bout. Given that Gane has significantly superior striking skills compared to Reyes, it's reasonable to expect that Gane will have a considerable advantage in the stand-up game against Jones. Additionally, since this fight is in the heavyweight division, Jones will be carrying more weight than he's accustomed to, resulting in slower movement and possibly sluggish performance inside the octagon compared to the light heavyweight division. On the other hand, Gane has faced strong punchers, such as Francis, Derek Lewis, Junior Dos Santos, and Tai Tuivasa. None of these managed to outstrike Ciryl Gane, and even Francis, who is considered the hardest puncher in the UFC, had to use wrestling to beat him. When it comes to striking, Ciryl Gane will have an advantage over Jon Jones, which may be his key to victory. Wrestling will be the X factor for Jon Jones. A significant advantage that Jon Jones will have in this fight is his wrestling. Jon Jones was a standout high school wrestler and is regarded as one of the best wrestlers in the light heavyweight division. He has shown tremendous wrestling in matches against Anthony Smith, Alexander Gustafsson, Rampage Jackson, Stephan Bonner, and even managed to take down Daniel Cormier, who is undoubtedly one of the best wrestlers in MMA history. On top of all this, Jon Jones is a phenomenal grappler and a BJJ purple belt. He has 6 submission wins and has shown amazing top game and ground and pound throughout his career. Wrestling could pose a significant challenge for Gane. Jon Jones' superior wrestling skills could create problems for Gane, and failure to defend against Jones could result in a loss. Gane's last fight against Francis showed that wrestling was his downfall, costing him the heavyweight title. Although he dominated the first 2 rounds with his striking ability, Francis managed to take him down and maintain control on the ground, ultimately securing the victory. Given that Jones has better wrestling than Francis, it could be a difficult night for Gane if he has not improved his takedown defense. If Jon Jones and Ciryl Gane have a grappling exchange at any point in this fight, I doubt Ciryl will end up on top. If Jones can use his superior wrestling, he will have a great night. Many believe that Jon Jones might have a significant challenge in front of him. After all, he hasn't fought in years and is moving to a new weight division. Nonetheless, we can't forget that Jon Jones is one of the greatest MMA fighters of all time and that he has dominated most of his opponents. I believe Jon Jones will use his wrestling and grappling skills and make this a tough night for Ciryl Gane. Gane couldn't stop Francis from taking him down, and Jon Jones is a far superior wrestler. In addition, Jones has a lot more experience than Gane, which will benefit him in the fight. So what's most likely to happen? That's heavily up for debate. We simply don't know. Jon Jones is obviously favored, but it's quite a while since the last time he stepped foot inside the octagon. Moreover, he'll now be competing as a heavyweight. A different set of rules will therefore apply. He'll be bigger, slower, but also more powerful. He'll also be competing against guys that have the tools and weapons necessary to knock him out with just a couple of punches. His biggest advantages thus far, that being height and reach, will essentially be nullified. So the Jones betting odds are the only ones that make sense, or rather are worth investing in. An upset is possible, but it's nonetheless highly unlikely. Gane has a much better chance at scoring the win than most folks want to admit, but betting against Jon? When did that ever earn anyone any money? My official prediction is Jon Jones by unanimous decision or by submission.